Hello, Rambashar here. So Ugir the Wyrmeater's fusion has arrived, and therefore Plarium has blessed us with the schedule. I am hoping in the upcoming fusions they will keep it secret even after the fusion has arrived. And they will reveal it day by day. Jokes aside, that is the direction they have been moving. It used to be revealed before the fusions actually arrive, and now the fusions seem to have taken a dive. They are getting pretty worse and worse. I'm not talking about the champion, so the champion is not great, right? We did discuss this in our video, but I'm talking about the fusion structure. So let us go over it. So today the Spider Tournament, Dungeon Divers, and the 5-day champion training arrived after two horrible and terribly back-to-back champion training event and tournament. Right now we have another champion training event that's gonna last 5 days, and it requires almost 15,000 points to complete, and Ascensions and books give no points there. So there is that. And tomorrow we'll follow up with the first arena tournament and the first of its kind special summon rush, in which the pool of champions that have been declared beforehand will have a 15x chance of getting summoned, and we will have special slots to drag those champions in for each shard, and the champions we drag to those special slots will there have appearance chances boosted up to 20x and 25x as we get champions from that shard of the champions rarity. So guys, let's say we will have Theodore 15x this weekend, right? So if you select Theodore from sacred shards and you pull a random legendary, let's say Ugir the Wyrmeater from a sacred shard, that means your Theodore will be up to 20x now, right? And let's say you pull doesn't matter, Kaimar out of another sacred shard, then your Theodore chance will go up to 25x for sacred shards only, right? So it will be unique to the shard from what I understand, and it will start from 15x and it will climb up to 25x. That is pretty good, because 10x has been getting pretty old, right? We keep getting more and more champions in the game, and 10x was not really very meaningful. So let's get back. Let's go ahead and we will come back to this summon rush, because I will have a little bit of ranting to do. So the first dungeon divers has to be done entirely during the course of the spider. Then we do the artifact enhancement 1 with the silver we earn from spider tournament, or with the silver that we had already saved. Then we jump into dragon, but I would suggest waiting for a day to jump into dragon, so you could get points in dungeon divers. Dragon ends, we jump into ice golem and also do the artifact enhancement 2 at the same time. Then we have another champion training tournament that is lasting for 4 days. The winner will get 10 extra fragments for Ugir's summon. I'm guessing the runner-up will get 5. Just an educated guess from what I've seen so far. And we have the second arena tournament, and we finalized the fusion with the last dungeon tournament, that is Fire Knight, and finally artifact enhancement 3, right? So you might have noticed some discrepancy here. The number of shards add up to 100 exactly, if we don't count the tournament leaderboard bonus, right? And this generally used to be 115. We would have a champion chase here, and the champion chase would have 15 fragments in it, 5 early on and 10 more later. So they removed it so they can force us to grab the fragments in summon rush that are deep in, right? So right now the deep fragments in summon rush are not optional, they are a must if you want to get the fusion done. So let's just Calculate 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 60, 80, 85, 90, 95, and 100. Which means you have to do every single activity here, and you also have to go deep in Summon Rush. It used to be, as I said, there would be a champion chase here, and it would have 15 fragments, making the Summon Rush's deep fragments optional. Right? Now the Summon Rush's deep fragments are not optional, and it's a must. And I think it's a very bad move, right? I don't like it one bit. And we have been, bled out of our shards quite a bit because, 2 weeks ago we had the delayed Sacred Shard 2x, and last week we had the Kaja thingy, which made us open a lot of Sacred Shards, and now we have the Summon Rush. I'm hoping they will be a little bit merciful with the fragments that are in deep. 3,000 points would be nice if they did so. I doubt it though. It will probably be like 3,500 points, which will be equivalent to 7 Sacred Shards, which most of us wouldn't have. I think I will have like barely 3, so I will have to resort to mass opening of mystery shards maybe, or some voids or whatever. We'll see. So yeah, I mean, if there is anything to optimize here, Spider just fully overlaps with Dungeon Divers, so Dungeon Divers has to be done with this Spider, and it has some nice rewards at the end, but it is a little bit expensive. Only people with a lot of extra energy lying around will be able to do it. 3,700 is the fragment. Then we have a whopping 5,000, which means a gap of 1,300, and that would require along the lines of 2,000 energy to score. That gives a primal shard, and finally at 6,000 we have an immortal soul stone, the tier 2 soul stone. I mean, it isn't bad, but the prices, the gaps are very severe. A gap of 1,300 in Dungeon Divers is very harsh. I wish they did another milestone in between. Anyway, we have the champion training event, 5,000 champion trainings back to back now. This will be hard to complete, even though it takes 5 days. The final milestone is at 14,750 points. Will not be very easy to achieve because most of us are quite out of food these days. And we have the Summon Rush we have to do fully. Horrible again. I'm not saying anything about arena takedowns, they are easy to do, right? So sell the stuff you get in Spider and do the artifact enhancement event, jump into Dragon after waiting for a day, right? So if you handle the Dungeon Divers here, you can jump into campaign on the 19th till the Dungeon Divers arrives, so you can get the champion training done a little bit. I think it would be a good idea. Then do the Dungeon Divers 2 with Dragon, and then jump into Ice Golem when you're done with Dragon. Then we do another champion training, which actually overlaps with CVC a little bit. This is the CVC's beginning, so if you're going to use your books in CVC, you could wait 1 day, right? And then you could score some extra points, making your load in the champion training tournament a little bit off. Also save your ascensions for this, right? The legendary ascensions can give a nice amount of points. Then we have the second arena, and we finalize with the Fire Knight and the third artifact enhancement event, and we will be obtaining Ugir. I am very, very displeased with this fusion. The champion is not good at all. I don't mind. Not every fusion has to be like Nut, right? I don't mind the fusion not being very good, but I do mind having to finish the Summon Rush, right? That is very annoying. And even the hardcore people that win this champion training tournament they will have to finish the summon rush, or they will have to buy the remaining 5 fragments, because summon rush goes generally 5 plus 15, right? And so if you miss the 15 and if you still win this tournament, you're still going to be on 95 fragments, and Plarium generally offers to sell you the remaining 5 fragments after the fusion expires. So there is that, but I don't like it. I think that should be an option for people who actually miss something, who seek to finish the fusion, right? People who finish everything but still not able to get the fusion done because of scumbag moves shouldn't have to buy stuff, right? I don't like that. That's not very nice. Sadly, that's the way it is. So if you want this fragment, I really am not a fan of skipping fragment events because they are worth 500 points in champion chase and 30,000 points in clan vs clan, but they really make the skip very enticing. This is horrible. And we had been right after we had been bled dry of our shards, right? A summon rush that we have to go deep. So summon rush generally goes like 2,150 points for the earlier shards and 3,500 for the deeper shards. Yeah, and by the way, I did skip the 1+1 sacreds. There is also that. I would be, I would have nothing if I didn't skip that. So this will be very challenging for most people. And we don't even have a few days to grab some shards from the clan boss or anything, right? It started today, boom, summon rush immediately. You just have 3 days to get whatever you can from the clan boss, or maybe Doom Tower if you haven't completed it yet. So sadly, extremely disappointing schedule. And as I said, guys, I don't really mind the tournaments, the spider tournaments, dragon tournaments, the dungeon tournaments, the arenas, dungeon divers, the artifacts. I don't mind any of it, right? The part that I do mind is the severely back-to-back trainings, and I mind that like 5%. The mining of me is distributed like 5% mining the champion ring, and 95% is the summon rush being mandatory, right? I don't like that at all. And thing is, they have been fine-tuning it for the last months, and the general structure was the summon rush early fragment was a must, but the deeper fragment was optional, and I like that, right? So they removed the champion chase from the fragment on purpose, right? So normally there would be a champion chase here, which would give us 15 fragments. And guys, we do like to open our shards during champion chases because there is a 2x, right? We don't like the summon rushes because summon rush has 10x, 15x, 20x, whatever it is, right? It doesn't help you get the legendaries. The champion chase does. So the event that I would like to open my shards is here, and it's not part of the fragment. So the shards that I open here will not help the fusion whatsoever, right? Yeah. Anyways, that is the end of my rant, and I will see you on stream. Bye bye.